Welcome to the 8th episode of Inside Mercado Libre, our investor relations podcast that brings senior management closer to investors. My name is Richard Cathcart. I'm Mercado Libre's investor relations officer. For those of you joining via YouTube today, you'll see that we're doing something slightly different. This is the first video podcast that we're recording. And that's because the theme that we're talking about today, which is seller tools, we'll be able to put up some images of the platform onto the video so that our viewers and listeners will be able to see in a tangible way some of the things that we're talking about. Listeners on Spotify will be able to follow the whole audio, but worth jumping over to YouTube for the video as well. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce our guest for today, Roberta Donato, Marketplace VP for Brazil. Roberta, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for the invitation.
So, as I said, the theme for today is seller tools. So maybe just starting at a very high level, why is this topic so important to us at Mercado Libre?
Okay, actually, seller tools is critical to everything we do. We are a 3P first marketplace and we connect merchants with buyers. So we need to facilitate their journey in our platform. So we have hundreds of thousands of successful sellers every quarter in our platform. Yeah. If we look at the region, we have like 1 million of them. And it's directly connected to what we have reported in Q2. For the last 12 months, we have reported a GMV of $56 billion. That's actually the revenue from our sellers. So they have a huge potential, have been growing a lot. So we need to provide these tools for them to grow. And these tools are also really valuable for our buyers, which engage a lot more.
Okay. And I was looking at some of the numbers. I think the number of sellers that we have, it's equivalent to a city the size of Monterrey in Mexico or Campinas in Brazil. Yeah. So this is a lot of sellers with a lot of GMV.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So at the recent Mercado Libre Experience event in Sao Paulo, you touched on one of the things that I wanted to discuss today, which is mi página, minha página, or my page in English. Can you just tell us a little bit more about what this is and how this helps the sellers?
Sure. This helps the sellers creating their own store inside our marketplace, and we give them the control to put the look and feel they want in their store. So they can create sessions, put colors, make like for women or category specific. So they have the control to build their own store, connecting more to their audience, bringing the ambient they want. So it's been really nice, it's scaling a lot. So they can invite our buyers to browse through the experience connected to their brand, discovering their categories. So it's being really personalized and important for the sellers.
And I think one of the things you can do is buyers can follow certain pages, yes, right? Which helps with the communication between the sellers and those buyers.
Yes, actually, they can send coupons for their buyers. They can have specific promotions, activate any kind of communication with the followers from their store, flash sales. So they create a community of buyers around their store that they can activate independently from Mercado Libre. So it's been so nice for them.
And I think certainly shows how we can develop technology to help the sellers to boost their sales. Can you talk a little bit about some of the performance, kind of how these things have helped the sellers?
Well, actually, we are really happy about the performance. There's not much that I can share here. But what I can tell you is that followers for a brand buy a lot more than non-followers. And it's a huge, huge gap.
Yeah. Okay. It's going to be interesting to see yes, how this plays out. And I think one of the other things that we've been helping the sellers with is ads. Kind of what have we done recently to help facilitate the sellers' use of our advertising platform?
Okay, we have just launched one-click ads. It's a product that facilitates a lot for the sellers. So we have AI tools connected to historical data that suggests a set of products and investments daily, products that are most likely to sell. And so they suggest to the seller just needs to opt in the campaign. So they are with the product ads on. So it's really easy to use. Sellers are loving it right now, and it's scaling really fast. So we think it's really really strong product and feature that we have just launched. So it's been really facilitating the life of the sellers with product ads.
And is it that was launched quite recently, or?
Yes, it's recent launch. And we want to bring also new features in the roadmap.
Okay. No, that's great. And I think it's a good example of working across different areas of the company, right? To make sure that we are helping the sellers, but also maximizing all of our technology across the board. One of the things that you mentioned before was coupons. So I just wanted to come back to that. And I think, if you could talk a little bit more about what we've done to bring together all of the tools that we offer to sellers to help them to promote their businesses.
Okay. And Mercado Libre has lots of tools, so they were all spread among channels. So we made a promo hub where the sellers can see all our tools together, organized. So we have just launched this promo central. So people watching this podcast will be able to see how they can use coupons for sellers, also coupons for abandoned checkouts. So we have lots of features that they can independently use for their community and also connect to our affiliate program. So we have this hub with lots of those products, self-service, so sellers can run their campaigns as they want and invest on top of our investments and make that fine-tuning in the campaigns.
So, and I think just going back to what I mentioned before about Mercado Libre experience, I think the way that you position this at the event was kind of like a Formula One team. They're the driver. We're giving them the car and the tools with the mechanics, but they're the ones in charge to manage the business the best way they see fit.
Perfect. And we need to provide each time a better tool and a better car for them. Yeah. So to extract all the potential we have together.
Okay. No, that's fantastic. One of the other things that you mentioned there was affiliates. That's something that I wanted to talk about in a little bit more detail. So how can the sellers leverage the affiliates program that we've built at Mercado Libre?
Affiliates is a program we've been investing for a couple of years, but from Melly's side. So we take the link and we put in the content from the affiliate. We can spread it among channels in social media, and the affiliates, as the product is sold, they receive and they are rewarded for that. Right now, it was not in the hand of the sellers. What we made right now is to launch a product that the sellers can connect directly to our base of affiliates, invest on top Melly. So it's been really nice because they can also define the strategy better and the level of investments they want to put in this channel. It's been a trend, growing a lot and connected. So we can also potentialize that in social media and other new channels that are growing a lot. Okay. So it's a new feature that the seller can have the control of this mechanism.
Which I think is nice because it gives them a tool to leverage investment that we as Mercado Libre are making the affiliates program, and they can kind of jump on top of that as well to boost the impact. Yes. Clips, I think, is another area here that's maybe worth talking about, and both of these kind of more social type tools. I think we've made some upgrades to the Clips experience recently, so maybe that's worth commenting on.
Yes, clips are like short videos. They engage a lot the buyers, and some sellers do not have a team for creation. So we have launched a feature that the seller just needs to make a video for the product. Mm-hmm. Our AI tools read the descriptions, frequently asked questions in the historical publications that we have, and propose 3 kinds of script for the seller. So he can choose this. And then the AI makes also the voiceover of the clip. And then the seller chooses and put in the publication of the product. And every time you put this clip in the second position after the first photo, we have lots of more conversion, more time spending that publication. So it's been so nice, facilitating a lot for the sellers, scaling a lot. It's been really important because this content also we can leverage in social media channels and bring much more awareness and traffic for the seller and for Mercado Libre.
Yeah, no, I think it's just a great example of how our investment in technology can make life easier for the sellers whilst increasing conversion, leveraging our investments. And so it's kind of a very win-win situation, I think, if we can get this right. Yeah. That's great. So one of the other things that you talked about in your presentation at Melly XP was a few of the pain points that some of the sellers have. And I think, one of them we've talked about, which was all of the different promotional tools, and you mentioned the promo hub. Are there any other things that you think are worth highlighting where we've kind of tried to resolve some of these pain points?
Yes, there was one. That's the difficulty in uploading the catalog. So we have launched a feature that's now so easy to put the links in our platform. This is one recent that we did with lots of adoption. And the other one was we had abandoned carts below 79 reais. And we had our largest campaign for this year that was the lowering the threshold for the free shipping. We were in 79, we put it at 19. It was investments from Meli that leveraged a lot our traffic conversion. So it was a great success and fantastic for the sellers because it was full funded by Meli.
Yeah, I think that's probably a whole episode in itself.
Sure.
I think maybe we can leave that for another one. So great, Roberta, thank you very much for taking us through all of those things. Super interesting. And like I said, those of you who have watched on YouTube, please send us your feedback about the new format. But Roberta, thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you.